I got a game for you.
Okay.
Still stay in media real quick. I got 3 topics. You pick which one you want to talk about next.
Gotcha.
Tucker Carlson, 254 million views, interview with Donald Trump, number 1. TikTok it's fucking awesome. Go there. CNN Max.
I don't know anything about CNN Max, but it just sounds like a flop out the door.
Yeah. Discovery. We'll just put that out there. Discovery is putting CNN Max, like 24/7. You know, CNN Plus flopped.
Yeah.
So they're coming out with CNN Max.
Was it just the same thing with the rebrand?
With the rebrand, but it's going to be free.
See, creatives need to take those jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because whoever's coming up with this idea is a dumbass.
Yeah. So I think it's on Max.
Oh, so it's free. It's like if nobody's going to pay for the content.
24/7, but it's the same shit. It's the same people.
Who wants to watch them?
Oh my God. All right. So that was one. TikTok. And I'm sure you want to go with the first one. I mean, Tucker Carlson, there was a debate. I didn't know that there was a debate.
I heard.
I heard that day.
Yes.
Then I heard Tucker Carlson's going to come on 5 minutes before, drop his interview with Donald Trump. It's hilarious. Anyway, posted on Twitter, X. As of this morning, there was 254 million impressions.
Yeah.
Different number views. At the same time, Fox had their debate at 12.8 million viewers. So I'm not saying everyone who watched on Twitter didn't watch the whole thing. And the same thing for Fox, that the 12.8 didn't watch the entire thing.
Yeah.
Those are vastly different numbers.
Of course they are.
Media is changing very fast.
Media has already changed.
Yeah.
The legacy media just hasn't. They still have a lot of money they can just burn.
And it's funny because
they're just racing to the bottom.
Yeah, well, they're saying like, well, Trump was afraid and doing this. And he had a really good point early on. He's like, why am I going to get a debate with these 8 people, half of which are complete disasters and will have nothing to do with the election in a few weeks? And all they're going to do, the only way they get wins is if they attack him and beat him on some sort of topic. He's like, that's a waste of time. So he goes there and pulls those numbers, which is and it grows every single day.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah. And where this is not a pro-Trump podcast, it's just talking about media and the changing landscape.
Listen, as I'll always put it out there, I think Biden and his administration is a fucking disaster. I think Trump is a fucking disaster. It's amazing to me that so many people are so loyal to him. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
This is the most self-centered, narcissistic, lying. All politicians are this way. The Bidens are this way. They're just as corrupt. But I mean, this guy,
yeah.
Do you really think he would give a shit about you?
You might have to vote for one of them.
No, I'll go third party. I'll write somebody in.
So that's a vote for one of them, though, in a way.
Oh, I hate that argument. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, please, let's do it.
Let's talk about that. I love this. And you especially hear this from the Democrats.
Yeah.
Well, if you vote third party, you're voting for Trump.
I think it's the opposite. I think you're voting against Trump if you don't vote third. I guess it depends on who you typically vote for.
I'm not going to vote for him. Here's the thing. In a democracy, our vote is our vote that we cast.
I totally agree.
I know you get all that, right? So the argument is like, oh, well, when you do that, it's a throwaway vote and you're helping the other candidate win. I'm like, eat shit. This is a democracy.
I agree.
Vote is going to be my vote.
Totally agree.
And I don't buy that bullshit. So we can just keep this 2-party system in place where you keep putting forward candidates that nobody actually likes.
Do you think there's a time where that third vote actually does lead to the winner of the election?
Oh, you mean like, was this a disruptor for,
I don't know.
You know how the Democrats.
Jenner runs for president and is a third independent, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, let's say Robert F. Kennedy. Let's say RFK. He says he's not going to run third party. But when you look at, he's pretty popular both among Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
You're going to have your hardcore extreme politicians or extreme voters that are, no matter what, we're going to vote, DNC, whatever the DNC tells us, we're going to vote that way because we're going to toe the party line. No matter what, Trump's our guy. We're going to vote no matter what. But then you have the vast majority of Americans who are registered independents. The vast majority are not Republican or Democrat. They are independents.
Yeah.
That is how they affiliate. Yet we're forced into these 2 parties that we don't completely align with.
Yeah.
And so the argument of like, well, if you vote third party, you're throwing your vote away. Well, how about you start putting candidates forward that represent not just one small segment of the population, but that really represents the vast majority of people?
Yeah.
They can't do that.
Yeah.
So to me, yeah, do I think Trump's going to be the nominee? Of course.
Yeah.
And that's fucking sad.
Can he win?
Against Biden? Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know if he can. I don't know. I think it's weird because they're trying to put him in prison. Now the mugshot came out where he turned himself in and everyone's going to town on that picture. It's going to be everywhere.
It looks like Donald Trump is having a laugh.
Yeah. He posted it. He's just fucking with people. Okay, if he ends up in prison, obviously he's out. He's not going to. I don't think. I don't know enough about any of that stuff, but let's just say he's not. I don't understand the logic because it's a big gamble. That's like Baker Mayfield just coming out and throwing the ball 80 yards, starting quarterback for the Buccaneers, by the way. Which is crazy. But every play, it might work. And if it works, like if you get Trump in jail, you win.
No, you can still be president in jail.
Yeah, but
which is wild.
That is wild. So let's say they don't put him in jail. He's in the news every day, and it just enrages his fan base even more that they're going to be passionate to show up. So it's a very risky gamble that if he's gets clean, he is going to have so much ammunition.
Especially if, because all this is being framed as political.
This is assuming it's Biden. Is he on the other end of it?
Right. Yeah. This is political theater, and they're trying to bring him down. And so his numbers surge because the polarization is so strong. Yeah, it's just, do I think he needs to be held accountable for his actions on January 6th? Fuck yeah. But like when the federal government brings charges against any individual, they'll throw 36 there, hoping that maybe 1 or 2 stick. So that's what I think we're seeing too.
Yeah.
I think what would be better is if there were safeguards or laws put into place so that the shenanigans that he was trying to pull can't be pulled. Because that's the concern, right? And I think that goes for all parties. I mean, we're in strange times. I mean,
Hunter and January 6th are going to cancel each other out, and then just be these two disasters running for president.
But all that's in separate echo chambers. It's
for sure.
Us in the middle, all the independents that are out there, like, we're hearing all this, and we're like, oh, jeez.
You just laugh on it. You just laugh because there's this video. It's this disaster. What happened in Hawaii is terrible.
Yeah.
Biden shows up there, and this video goes viral of him falling asleep. Okay. So then other people are posting that video was changed, whatever they did with it. So they caught him putting his head down, closed his eyes for a second, and they just looped that video.
Yeah.
But then you look at who's pointing that out. It's a political Twitter account, X account, and they're pro-Biden, anti-Trump. So it's like, here's the thing. I don't believe any of it.
Yeah.
Unless you were there, unless you know, those are the people that know. Yeah. Everything else has been changed. So I
saw that video. Unless it wasn't altered. It looked like he was just looking down at like a phone or something. He wasn't like...
Well, yeah, but a couple of days later, he comes up with the whole Russian thing, and the guy gets shot down in the airplane. They showed that shit fall from the sky. Dude. So they asked Biden about it, and he's walking out. He's been working out for like an hour and a half. I mean,
Biden's working out?
Yeah. He comes out. He's got a smoothie in his hand, and he just doesn't look well.
No,
he's not well, and that's sad.
Yeah, like I've said, fuck the DNC for putting him forward because that's cruel.
So even if he didn't fall asleep, it's just not a good look.
Yeah,
it's not a good look.
No,
and so what do we talk? So even if he didn't fall asleep, it still doesn't matter. And that's sad.
It's so worn down.
How could you not be?
I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to put yourself in that position, you're going to be a politician, you want to be president, you are putting a target, not a literal target, but you're putting a target for scrutiny and, like the bar is higher.
Yeah.
So you are going to be judged at a much higher level, and you should expect that.
Yeah.
The reality is he's not a good president, and his administration is laughable.
We all have kids. All of us here. There's a big room here, right?
Everybody has kids
they all
somewhere,
have kids
even if they don't know about them.
Yeah, right? It's an embarrassment what they have to look up to. I'm not saying the president should be their hero or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a fucking disaster. And there's not one kid out there, at least the kids I know, that look at these guys and, that there's something about them.
Yeah.
Whether they're a good speaker, they're a good this, they're a good that. Like they're just, this is such bullshit. And then there's all the hate and the animosity, and then kids are showing up with their agendas because parents are teaching them, and then kids are teaching them something different. Then they go to college and there's more of that shit. It's like, it's just not a good place. It's almost like a joke.
Yeah.
And if people were to wake up from like a long time ago, they'd be like, they had their own issues. I get it.
Yeah.
It's just not good. And it's only going to get worse. And the fact that AI exists and the deep fakes, the social media, like they're saying how social media should almost not even be allowed to post content around the election because it's all manipulation at this point. Like everybody, whether it's a country or an individual sitting in his basement at his mom's house.
Of course.
It's just manipulation.
So, and that's the thing that's frustrating, right? You have this technology, this platform that's out here that, for the most part, is just completely unregulated.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, right? And the solution is always, and this is where, I can see both sides of this, or I'll have competing ideas that I can hold at the same time, right? And I don't know which is the right answer. But we have this nonstop information, nonstop just being bombarded with everything constantly. Sure, we can turn it off, but it's also very addicting. You don't want to miss anything, even though part of you is like, I really do want to miss this. I don't want to pay attention. But then you kind of feel like, all right, well, It's quiet in the room. I should probably put something on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got all kinds of problems on that level. What we're not talking about is how do we make people better consumers of information? How do we make them better critical thinkers? How do we make them better, more independent thinkers? And I think a big part of that is not because that's hard to do, it's too late. No, it's not. It's not hard to do. But there's no incentive to do it. You see, if you're a critical thinker, you're going to see through bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at media and how the entire landscape is incentivized, it's incentivized towards outrage and compartmentalization. You in this camp, let me put you through this loop. I keep feeding you. I'm going to feed you stuff that I think you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to take you further and further down that rabbit hole until you get trapped by the FBI for joining Al-Qaeda. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the way that system is incentivized.
Yeah.
To make lots of money.
Yeah.
You being a critical thinker who can see through that is counterproductive for that model.
Yeah.
So until the incentive structure changes around media, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
So we can play this game of trying to put a Band-Aid on, social media, or, have the arguments about what should be censored, what shouldn't be censored, and everything else, but they're missing the point.
Yeah.
People need, like a media literacy, like an up-to-date media literacy course.
It's not happening. And it's not just social media, it's media.
Oh, no. When I talk about media, it's all of it.
Yeah.
All
and I just want to make sure that that's clear.
Oh, totally.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's just not happening.
Well, of course not. Again, because there's no incentive to buy these.
And I don't know where the incentive would even come from. Like, how would you change that around to make it incentivized for people to become critical thinkers?
I mean, the Foresight Academy and that program, and a big part of my work is teaching people how to make sense of information.
I get it.
But nobody knows.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like, that's a tiny, if anything.
Right. But it does make a difference if you
Sure.
recycle.
Well, actually, most of it ends up in the landfill, sadly.
I saw something the other day. We recycle at some place. I won't name where it is. It's very close to here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a recycle bin and a garbage bin.
The one at Park Road?
I won't say where it is.
Okay.
And
I've been there.
It doesn't matter.
No.
But it's like, it's fucking right here. Okay.
Okay.
I'm here late and I come out and it's all in the same bin. And they made such a big deal about separating, and which, of course, it ended up in the same place.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. And then you brought it up.
Yeah.
You can make a difference. One person can make a difference, smile
Sure.
at someone, give someone a tip.
Yes.
We can get a tip culture. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
But it's like, so you can help someone you can help your kids become critical thinkers.
Yeah.
That's important because
Yeah.
you can't control my kids. Fuck you, Jared. Like, you're not their dad.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I know.
And that the jury's still out on
The
that.
jury's still out. But so you can have an influence on some. The
Yeah.
problem is, man, it's vast.
Of course. But that's no reason not to bring it up, right?
Oh, I agree.
And we're not the only ones who think about this.
Saviors of the metaverse.
A lot of people share this same idea.
Sure.
Critical thinking is something that is missing in our society today. It's funny because the more that gets talked about, then it's going to get hijacked by one side or the other.
Well, college.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to college to become a critical thinker.
Not anymore.
Till they teach you what to think.
Correct. Not how to think.
That's tough.
Yeah.
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 We're teaching you. We're saving you. We want you to go through
We're
that
giving
problem.
you mindless information.
Yeah. Go to that philosophy 101 class,
Do it.
right?
Yeah.
Then you get tricked into something and you come out, you have these beliefs and Hillary Clinton's going to be the next president.
Yeah.
Then you come here and you get saved a little bit.
You get a little bit of saving.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like,
Next
oh,
thing
thank
you know.
God.
So you don't, it's like, don't be the guy without the shirt walking mindlessly through the streets.
Unless he's got it figured out.